$2.3 million. That's how much you need saved up to retire comfortably in just one of the 12 states on this list, and that's before the state takes its first bite. Here's the part nobody tells you. Your financial advisor, the glossy brochures, the smiling actors in those retirement commercials, they will never spell it out. Because if you knew what these 12 states actually do to retirees in 2026, you'd cancel the relocation, list the house, and start packing this afternoon. You've been lied to. The best places to retire lists you've been reading, built on weather, scenery, and golf courses. Not on the math, and the math is what robs you blind. What if the real reason your retirement plan keeps coming up short isn't your savings rate, it's your zip code? What if the system has been quietly funneling retirees into the most expensive financial death traps in America and calling it paradise? Coming up, a state where Mr. Potato Head is the official travel ambassador, and the tax code triple dips your Social Security, your pension, and your 401k. A state where billboards have been illegal since 1927, but a gallon of milk costs more than a movie ticket. And a state where the official language used to literally be American. Now it's just one of the worst places in the country to own a home. Think you know which states are bleeding retirees in 2026? You don't, because the brochures show you sunsets. They don't show you the property tax bill. Hit subscribe before we start. The follow-up on the states that actually let you keep your money is dropping next, and you're going to want it. Counting down from 12 to 1, let's break it down. Number 12, Illinois, the property tax mausoleum. From 1923 to 1969, Illinois' official state language wasn't English. It was, and I'm not making this up, American. 46 years of legislative confidence that everybody else was speaking a foreign tongue. In 2026, the language Illinois speaks fluently is property tax. The state has the second highest effective property tax rate in the nation at roughly 1.9 to 2%, with a median bill around $5,400 a year. Here's the twist. Illinois actually fully exempts your Social Security, your pension, and your 401k and IRA withdrawals from state income tax. That part is a unicorn. So why is Illinois on this list? Because owning the house is the trap. The state lets you keep every dollar of your retirement income, then bills you $450 a month for the crime of having a roof over your head. The senior homestead exemption knocks $8,000 off your assessed value, which sounds great until you realize that's about 3 months of property tax in the suburbs. The rest of the year, you're back to writing checks to the township. Drop a comment if you've ever opened a Cook County tax bill and had to sit down for a minute. And stick around, because the next state taxes literally every form of retirement income known to humanity. Number 11, Minnesota, land of 10,000 lakes and one aggressive tax code. Minnesota raises about 42 million turkeys a year. That's more turkeys than California has humans. And every single one of those turkeys gets to keep more of its income than the average Minnesota retiree. Welcome to the only state on this list that taxes literally every form of retirement income you have. Social Security? Taxed, with the exemption phasing out above $84,490 single or $108,320 joint. Pension? Taxed. 401k? Taxed. IRA withdrawal? Taxed. At rates up to 9.85%. The lowest bracket starts at 5.35%, which is higher than the top rate in some states. Minnesota's cost of living is actually below the national average, and Medigap Plan G runs about $123 a month. Healthcare is genuinely excellent, but the tax code is built like a turkey trap. Wide, welcoming, no way out. You walk in for the lakes and the hot dish, and you stay because moving is harder than just writing the check. Twice a year, for the rest of your life. Plus, there's an estate tax kicking in at $3 million in case death wasn't tax-free enough for you. Hit the like button if you think no state should be allowed to tax this many things. And the next state up has so much maple syrup it almost makes the tax bill go down easier. Almost. Number 10, Maine, where even the Christmas decorations have a deadline. In Maine, it is technically illegal to keep your Christmas decorations up after January 14th. Bars require a special amusement permit to allow dancing, which means the entire plot of Footloose could legally happen here in 2026. And every retiree in the state is paying through the nose to live somewhere that bans both extended holiday cheer and spontaneous dance numbers. Maine has the oldest median age in America, which means the most demand for senior care, and a Medigap Plan G premium of about $214 a month, one of the highest in the country. Property taxes rank in the top 10. Electricity rates jumped 22.6% in the last year alone, the largest increase in the United States. The math gets brutal fast. Pensions are partially taxed up to 7.15%. The pension deduction gets reduced by your Social Security check, and the rural premium on groceries adds up faster than coastal fog. Your car insurance is among the cheapest in the country at about $773 to $1,175 a year, which is a nice consolation prize for paying $300 a month to keep your electric heat from turning your bones into icicles. Subscribe if you want to hear about states where winter doesn't cost $1,000 a month. And we're heading south to a state where maple syrup is currency and Social Security is still on the menu. Number 9. Vermont, the maple syrup money pit. In the 1890s, Vermont passed a law requiring margarine to be dyed pink, so nobody could mistake it for butter. They also have a current law specifically banning the banning of clotheslines. Apparently, the legislature was worried that someone, somewhere, was going to outlaw drying your underwear in the sun. Charming, adorable, and taxable. Vermont is one of only 8 states still taxing Social Security in 2026. Full exemption applies only if your AGI is below $55,000 single or $70,000 joint, phasing out completely by $65,000 and $80,000. Pensions are taxed. 401k and IRA withdrawals are fully taxable up to 8.75%. Property tax rate? 5th highest in the country at about 1.59%. Vermont sells itself as a Hallmark Christmas card, and the price tag matches. Winters are brutal, heating bills can hit 4 figures, and the charming old farmhouse you bought for $420,000 needs a new roof, a new furnace, and a serious conversation with the previous owner about whatever is living in the attic. Car insurance is the cheapest in the country at about $731 a year, which is the universe's way of apologizing for the rest of it. You'll save $1,500 on auto premiums and hand it right back to Montpelier in the form of an income tax bill that would make a hedge fund manager wince. Like this video, if Vermont feels more like a slap upside the head than a maple-scented hug. And the next state taxes Social Security, pensions, and your 401k while putting Mr. Potato Head on its tourism brochures. Number 8. Rhode Island. Mr. Potato Head is the mascot, and so is the tax code. In the year 2000, Rhode Island officially named Mr. Potato Head the state's travel ambassador. The signature drink is coffee milk. The state appetizer is calamari. Everything about Rhode Island feels like it was designed by a children's museum committee that wandered into the Department of Revenue and got handed a calculator. Here's what they did with it. Rhode Island taxes Social Security above $107,400 single or $133,750 joint. It's fully on the table. Pensions are taxed. 401k and IRA withdrawals are fully taxable as ordinary income, making Rhode Island one of a handful of states that goes after every form of retirement income you have. State tax runs up to 5.99%. Sales tax is a flat 7%. Property tax sits around 1.4 to 1.5%. And the rent. 2-bedroom fair market rents jumped 19.5% in a single year, the largest one-year jump of any state in America. So you're not just getting taxed coming and going, you're getting taxed coming, going, and moving in. By the time you've paid the security deposit on a Providence 1-bedroom, you've earned an honorary Mr. Potato Head plush of your very own. The good news is Rhode Island has some of the best retiree healthcare access in the country. So when you have your first financial heart attack, the response time is excellent. Comment, "Mr. Potato Head took my pension," if you've ever lived here. The next state has 9.9% income tax, no sales tax, and a holiday called Exploding Whale Day. Number 7. Oregon, where the whales explode and so does your pension. November 12th is Exploding Whale Day in Oregon. In 1970, the Oregon Highway Division decided the best way to deal with a beached 45-foot sperm whale was to detonate it with half a ton of dynamite. The footage is on YouTube. It is, let's say, instructive about what happens when government bureaucracy meets large-scale logistical problems. And what happens when Oregon's tax bureaucracy meets your IRA is roughly the same story, just with fewer feathers and more decimal points. Oregon has no sales tax. That's the headline. That's what they put in the brochure. And then the state income tax goes up to 9.9% on retirement account withdrawals, among the highest in the nation. And it kicks in at relatively low income thresholds. Pensions are taxed. 401k and IRA withdrawals are fully taxable. The estate tax exemption is $1 million, the lowest in the country. If you own property in Portland or Bend, congratulations. You have an estate tax problem. Nursing home costs in Oregon run about $15,817 a month, the second highest in America, with a reported staffing shortage at 94% of facilities. And the Blue Mountains hold the largest living organism on Earth, a 2,400-year-old honey fungus colony spanning 2.5 miles. So when you can't afford your assisted living bill, you can take a walk on top of the world's oldest mushroom and contemplate where it all went wrong. Share this video with anyone who keeps saying no sales tax means it's cheap. It doesn't. And the next state has the highest property tax rate in the entire nation. Vinny wants his cut. Number 6, New Jersey, where the Monopoly board was real and so is the rent. The Monopoly board you played on as a kid? Real. Boardwalk, Park Place, Marvin Gardens, every single one of those streets is in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Parker Brothers based the entire game on a real-life New Jersey vacation map in the 1930s. So in a very real sense, generations of Americans have been training to retire here since they were 8 years old. Unfortunately, real New Jersey is the version where every roll of the dice ends in income tax and luxury tax, and every street you land on is owned by the township. New Jersey has the highest property tax rate in the United States, period, roughly 2.23% of home value. The median property tax bill is approximately $9,500 a year. $9,500. That is not property tax, that is ransom. The state is holding your house hostage, and if you don't pay, Vinny shows up. The median home price runs $500,000 to $540,000. Jersey City one-bedrooms are around $3,050 a month. Car insurance went up 20% in 2025, the largest single-year increase of any state. New Jersey has a retirement income exclusion that can exempt up to $100,000 of retirement income for joint filers 62 and older, but it has a cliff. Earn $1 over $150,000 AGI and you lose the entire exclusion, not phased out, gone. The whole thing, you'd think they'd let you down easy, but no, New Jersey wants you to fall off a cliff with your eyes open. Drop a comment if you've ever paid a Garden State Parkway toll and wondered if that money was funding actual roads or just a Vinny pension fund. The next state taxes Social Security and has the nation's most expensive utilities. Number 5, Connecticut, the quiet mugging state. In 1948, Connecticut passed a regulation declaring that a pickle is not legally a pickle unless it bounces. There is an actual 1-foot drop test. If your cucumber doesn't bounce, it cannot be sold commercially as a pickle. Connecticut is also where the first U.S. phone book was published in 1878, 50 entries, all of them probably named Winthrop. In 2026, Connecticut is also where your retirement bounces off the floor, fails the test, and gets quietly removed from the shelves. Connecticut is one of only 8 states still taxing Social Security. The exemption applies only under $75,000 single or $100,000 joint AGI. Above that, up to 25% of your benefits get taxed. Pensions are taxed. 401k and IRA withdrawals are fully taxable up to 6.99%. Property taxes rank 3rd highest in the country at roughly 1.79 to 1.92%. Now stack on the utilities. Connecticut is tied with Hawaii for the highest electricity costs in the nation, about $2,490 a year. Car insurance averages around $3,900 a year, second most expensive in the country, up 50% in 2 years. Medigap Plan G runs about $222 a month. The state also has an estate tax. So you've got a state that taxes the Social Security you already paid into, charges you the highest power bill in America to keep the furnace running, makes you pay $3,900 a year just to legally drive to your own doctor, and then taxes your estate when you die. Connecticut isn't robbing you, it's quietly mugging you in a Brooks Brothers blazer. Hit the like button if Connecticut is the most polite financial assault you've ever heard about. The next state has Manhattan rent and Albany income tax, and you're paying both. Number 4, New York, paying $4,680 a month to be yelled at. Pinball was illegal in New York City from the 1940s until 1976. The mayor literally smashed machines on camera. It was only legalized when a national pinball champion brought a machine into court and called his shots, 8-ball, corner pocket, to prove the game was skill, not gambling. 34 years of municipal effort to ban a children's arcade game. That's the energy New York brings to taxing retirees. The median home price statewide is around $475,000 to $490,000. In Westchester or Long Island, property tax bills regularly clear $15,000 a year. New York City market rent for a 1-bedroom averages $4,680 a month, the most expensive in the country. The state income tax goes up to 10.9%, and if you live in the 5 boroughs, New York City adds another 3.876% on top. Just because. Social Security is not taxed. That's the good news. Public and government pensions are fully exempt. But here's the trap. Private pensions, 401ks, and IRAs only get a $20,000 exclusion. Above that, every dollar is fully taxable up to 10.9% plus city tax. Sales tax in the 5 boroughs hits 8.875%. Car insurance averages about $2,600 a year. Electricity went up 11.4% in 2025. New York does have decent perks on paper. Enhanced Star for seniors under $98,700. And community-rated Medigap at $128 a month. So in theory, the state is trying. In practice, by the time you've paid Manhattan rent, MTA fares, and the parking ticket some traffic cop wrote at 6:03 in the morning, you're funding the entire Department of Sanitation single-handed. Comment with the most ridiculous New York fee you've ever paid. They're all going in the highlight reel. The next state has the worst affordability ranking in the country, except for Hawaii. Number 3. Massachusetts will save your life and bankrupt you. In 2006, a Massachusetts judge officially ruled that a burrito is not a sandwich. Real lawsuit, real verdict. Lawyers got paid. The same state is also home to Lake Chargoga Gogman Chauga Gog Chaubanagungamog. Words de dial sa old swayer. Exounce dat jat south 45 letters, the longest place name in the United States, and a leading cause of mild aneurysms in elementary school spelling bees. If Massachusetts will go to the mat over the legal status of a burrito, imagine how seriously they take your retirement income. Massachusetts has the second highest cost of living in the country, at an index of 141 to 148. Hawaii is the only state worse. The median home price runs about $615,000 to $640,000 statewide, with the Boston Metro hitting around $1.04 million. One-bedroom rents in Boston are the third priciest of any U.S. metro. The state income tax is a flat 5%, fine in isolation. Except there is a 4% millionaire's tax surcharge on income above approximately $1.05 million that catches a lot of retirees who downsize a family home into a brokerage account. Estate tax kicks in at just $2 million. Picture this. Cape Cod in October, the leaves turning along Route 6A, your kids and grandkids coming up for Thanksgiving in the family house you finally paid off. Now picture the $9,000 property tax bill that arrives every January. Picture the $215 a month Massachusetts-flavored Medigap supplement. Picture watching your 401k get taxed at 5% every time you pull a dollar out for groceries. Pensions from the state, federal government, or military are exempt, but every private pension, 401k, and IRA is fully taxable at 5% with no senior deduction. The good news is, Massachusetts has the second best healthcare system in the entire country, with world-class hospitals and the highest doctor concentration in America. The bad news is, you will need every one of them. They will save your life. The bill will then proceed to do its own kind of damage. WalletHub ranked Massachusetts the 49th worst state for affordability in 2026. Only Hawaii was worse. That is not a coincidence. That is the bracket. Comment if Massachusetts is your home state and you have not considered moving to New Hampshire. I genuinely want to understand the logic. And speaking of moving, the next state takes the largest bite out of your 401k of any state in the union, 13.3%. Number 2, California, the 13.3% sucker punch. It is genuinely illegal in California to eat a frog that dies during a frog jumping contest. This is a real law, tied to Calaveras County's annual Jumping Frog Jubilee, the contest Mark Twain made famous. If your frog kicks the bucket mid-competition, you cannot eat it. It must be released into the wild for what one assumes is a respectful funeral. California is also where you cannot eat into your 401k without the state taking the largest bite of any state in the union. The top state income tax rate in California is 13.3%, the highest in the United States, and there is no retirement income deduction whatsoever. Every dollar of your pension, every dollar of your 401k, every dollar of your IRA, fully taxable up to 13.3%. There is even a 2.5% additional penalty on early withdrawals from retirement accounts. Just to make sure you understand the assignment, the state also has the highest base sales tax in America at 7.25%. Combined rates push past 8.8% in most cities. The median home price in California is roughly $760,000 to $833,000 statewide, second highest in the nation. In San Francisco, it's about $1.3 million. In San Diego, $909,000. A one-bedroom apartment in San Francisco rents for $3,500 to $4,000 a month. In LA, $2,520. Car insurance? Try $2,600 to $3,000 a year, sometimes more. Water bills are the second highest in the country. Picture this. You've finally retired. The kids are grown. You bought the little house in Pasadena 30 years ago for $180,000. Prop 13 has been kind to your property tax, about $2,200 a year, capped. The sun is on the bougainvillea. The neighborhood smells like jasmine. You log into Fidelity to take your first $50,000 401k withdrawal for the year. California takes $6,600 of it before it even hits your checking account. Now picture doing that every year for the next 25 years. Social Security is not taxed in California. Prop 13 saves longtime homeowners. The weather is what they say it is. But the moment you actually start spending your retirement money, the moment you do what retirement is for, California is in your pocket like a pickpocket on the Santa Monica Pier. Share this with anyone who keeps saying, but California doesn't tax Social Security. That's the lure, not the trap. And the number one state on this list requires 7 figures in savings just to live comfortably. Stay with me. Number 1. Hawaii Paradise Costs. $2.3 million up front. Hawaii has banned billboards since 1927, one of only 4 states in America to do so. Hawaii also eats more spam per capita than any other state, about 7 million cans a year, and hosts an annual Spam Jam Festival on Kalakaua Avenue. So the visual environment is pristine, the food is canned, and the financial environment is the most expensive in the United States. Welcome to number 1. Hawaii has the highest cost of living index in the country at 183.9. That is 84% above the national average. The median home price is approximately $832,000 statewide. In Honolulu, you are pushing $1 million. Census median gross rent is $1,942 a month, second highest in the country. And in Honolulu specifically, expect $2,500 or more for a one-bedroom. Electricity is the most expensive in the nation at approximately $2,490 a year. Groceries are dramatically above average. Almost everything is shipped or flown in from the mainland. A gallon of milk regularly costs $7. A loaf of bread, $6. Here is the twist. Hawaii's tax code is, on paper, nice to retirees. Social Security is not taxed. Employer-funded pensions, both public and private, are fully exempt. The property tax rate is 0.27%, the lowest in the entire country. Car insurance averages around $820 a year, also one of the cheapest. If you saw only those numbers, you'd think Hawaii was a retirement paradise. But here is the ambush. Hawaii fully taxes 401k and IRA withdrawals up to 11%. And that is how most modern retirees actually pay for retirement. You don't have a defined benefit pension, you have a 401k. And every dollar you pull out of it gets up to 11% taken by the state. So the retirement paradise tax code only works if you happen to be a retired teacher, firefighter, or government employee with a traditional pension. Everyone else? Welcome to the trap. Picture this. Sunrise over Diamond Head, the trade winds carrying the scent of plumeria. Coffee on the lanai, a heron at the edge of the lagoon. You have done it. You are in paradise. And then the monthly electric bill arrives at $658. The grocery store run costs $312 for what would have been $180 on the mainland. Your IRA withdrawal generates a $5,500 state tax bill. By the end of your second year, you are watching the same sunset and doing the math on whether you can afford to keep watching it. Go Banking Rates estimates you will need between $2.3 million and $3.1 million saved to retire comfortably in Hawaii. The cost to live comfortably annually clocks in at approximately $117,700, by far the highest in the country. Nursing home care runs about $15,087 a month, third highest nationally. Hawaii has the highest life expectancy in the United States, which is wonderful unless your savings expectancy doesn't match. Hawaii is the perfect closing case for this whole video because the postcard is real, the weather is real, the sunrise is real, and the math is the math. The math says paradise costs $2.3 million just to step onto. If you watched all the way to number 1, 3 things. Like this video. It's the algorithm's tip jar, and the algorithm decides whether your neighbors get to see it next. Subscribe. The follow-up on the 12 cheapest, friendliest states for retirees in 2026 is the natural sequel. and it's the antidote to this whole list. And share this with anyone in your life who keeps saying, "I'm just going to move to Hawaii when I retire," because they need to see the spreadsheet before they sign anything. So here is the punchline of the whole video. Retirement isn't a math problem, it's a geography problem. The same $1.2 million nest egg that crumbles in Hawaii in 19 years will last 33 in Mississippi. The same Social Security check that gets taxed in Vermont gets handed back to you whole in Florida. Your zip code is doing more damage to your savings than your spending ever could. So like this video if it made you rethink your relocation plan. That's how the algorithm finds the next person who needs to hear it. Subscribe because the next video is the 12 states that actually treat retirees like guests, not piggy banks. And share this with that one friend who keeps saying they're going to move to California or Hawaii when they retire. They need this list before they sign anything. Stay smart, stay subscribed, and whatever you do, stop letting your zip code rob you blind.